Hey everybody, this is going to be like a quick little shop tour video, just showing you what's going on around here, some current projects, equipment I have, and yeah, I think we're going to be starting over to the left in general storage, move over to the center with the main workbench, and make our way right to the more fun tool storage. And yeah, let's jump into it. Alright, so here we are over at the Empire of Dirt per se. It's really the worst part of the shop by far. I try and keep it organized, but as you can see, that doesn't ever work. It's really just a mess of scrap material, whatever I use for projects and whatnot. Maybe there's some tools mixed in there somewhere. But yeah, I got, let's see, some scrap metals up here, brass, aluminum, some more copper over there. It's electronics, microwave, because why not? Just really anything you could think of, I've probably got it here. Woodworking stuff, whatnot. By all means, if you want to know more about something you see, leave a comment or something. But yeah, there's that. Over here, bikes, lots and lots of bikes. It's more my dad's thing. But here's a project I'm working on. Putting a Predator 212 on a Lamborghini brand bicycle. Hopefully that'll be done within a couple months. Just gotta get a clutch for it. Look out for that in the future. In here we got some scrap steel box. It's nothing, you can't really see anything obviously, but they're just steel. This is kind of the most boring part, I guess. Alrighty, next up we got the main bench here. It's obviously where all the magic happens as far as building goes. I'm not going to go through an excruciating detail through all of this stuff, but I'll highlight the good points, I guess. Obviously, first we got the mill. This, if you hadn't realized, it's not a off-the-market mill. It's a Craftsman drill press that I converted with a homemade XY table here, and this really warrants its own separate video, which I will certainly make in the future. I'll detail all the parts of this and what I did to make it worthy for milling operations rather than drilling. But yeah, there's that. Alright, I guess next notable object is this vise. It's a pretty tiny vise, honestly. It's way too small for what I would like, but the reason I like it is it's a I guess it's a Babco Tools 503 vise. I inherited this from my great-grandfather, and from what I could tell from the box, this thing is probably made in the 40s, and it's still going strong, and that's what, gotta love that about old tools. And I just keep it around because it's a great little vise, handy for small detail work with files or something. And yeah, there's that. And here's another drill press vise, but that's nothing special. What else you got on a bench? You got your safety equipment, goggles, gloves, your hearing protection, your lubrication for milling, some water, some gas for a blowtorch. This is actually, shouldn't be here, but is a oxygen bottle that I am making for a future rocket project as a fuel tank. Didn't start out as this actually started out as a soda stream canister, but I've been slowly doing some work on the valves. Made a fill valve, obviously labeled it for oxygen. That's a summer project to get that whole rocket done. But there's that. Up here on the top, we kind of got decoration / entertainment. Got a nice little sound system going. A couple speakers there. Safety, fire extinguisher. Gas mask. That really should be down in the bin, but that's up there. Here's a nice little desk ornament I'll briefly mention. This was the first rocket engine I made actually made from the frame of a mountain bike I found, and it never flew, but it worked, and it was a proof of concept for the nozzle manufacturing purposes. I'm not going to go into detail of how I did that, but maybe another video, who knows. It's way too heavy to fly because it's got huge steel fittings welded on the back, but this was a, I guess, landmark in rocket engineering for my shop, so that stays up there as a decoration. That's about all there is here over at the workbench. So now we'll move over to the right corner. Alright, here we are over at the storage section of the shop. I apologize, it's pretty dark back here, but I'll briefly detail what I got going. Obviously, this is storage section, tools and stuff. I'm not going to go through all of the drawers here, but we got pliers, screwdrivers, bits for the mill, just all kind of cutting tools and stuff. And up here we got your sandpaper, nicely or horribly organized into separate grits. Socket set, more sandpaper, old motor from a saw I'll talk about later, and even more sandpaper. But over here in the corner we kind of got more miscellaneous storage, because that's tools. This is just random junk. In this bag here you can't really see it, but there is a bunch of scrap aluminum that needs melting, like engine blocks and stuff. I need to melt that down into ingots. Cardboard box here, even more scrap aluminum, including bike pedals. In this cabinet here, I'm not gonna make too much of a mess, and you obviously can't see any of that, but there's kind of just gas bottles. I think there's a power supply in there. There's some more rocket hardware. Here's a couple gas bottles on the floor here. This one is actually slated to become the next rocket engine. It's gonna be the Mark II of the one you saw earlier. Look out for that video sometime. Alright, so now we got the rest of the floor items. Starting off with this beast. This is the possibly the worst go-kart you will ever see. Like, it's really, really badly made. But if you haven't noticed, it's a lawnmower back end, and it's a lawnmower I found in the trash and just kind of got the engine running again. And the front end of a four-wheeler, a Razor electric four-wheeler, so Chinesium grade, really bad quality, but I welded it to the front of the lawnmower there, so you can now steer, and put together a little clutch system with a fence hinge and a little piece of string. Pretty bad, but what that does is engages a clutch back here, and that engages a little drive system. And I mean, yeah, what more can you say? It drives. I guess it's cool. Next up, we got this nice stack of wood here. This is actually some really nice quality maple burl. How I came about it was my neighbor was cutting down a tree, and it happened to be all burled throughout the trunk, as you can see. So I asked him for it. He let me have it. Rented a little sawmill, and now I got these nice planks drying, just waiting to be used. And yeah, so over here we got some casting sand, just for making molds and parts and stuff. Here's the forge that you would melt the metal in, currently occupied by Shop Vac Accessories, but that's where all the melting happens. It's where I needed to melt my scrap over there. Yeah, there's that. Here, this is kind of in the way. What this is a 1956 DeWalt radial arm saw. It's a great American-made piece of machinery. Obviously, the saw is gone. That's actually what the motor was you saw up there. That's what that was, because that was the saw. I took it off. As you can see now, I've bolted this piece of half-inch aluminum plate on here. Sometimes I bolt an ankle grinder on the bottom and use it as like a surface grinder, but it's really not the most effective thing, and it needs some work. But yeah, I basically just need a good idea of something to do with this, and I'll make it happen. Over here we got more junk on the floor. I guess this is, I wouldn't call this junk, although it kind of is. This is a gravity cart I built probably in like 2014, 13 or something. It was a while ago. But what this is, if you haven't noticed, it's a ripstick bolted to an office chair with two wheels bolted on the back of the office chair, and you steer by actually just moving the ripstick from side to side, and it is possibly the most unsafe go-kart you will ever see. I mean, like, that thing at least has brakes, but this thing, no brakes, like, no great means of control. It's real dank. It's it's something else. Oh well, here's a little tidbit. I don't know why this is out, but this is the torch that goes to the forge over there. It's the power supply, I guess you could call it. It's a big old Venturi gas burner I made a few years ago. It puts out a lot of heat and does it fast, so that's what you want from a torch. So that about covers all the floor stuff here. I mean, I'll think if there's anything else I could show, but that's basically the summary of the whole shop. I know a lot of it was just ramblings and kind of random stuff, but well, hope you found that interesting, and hopefully see you in the next video. Watch out for that mill video, rocket video, who knows, maybe a wood video, I mean, whatever. But yeah, there's the shop. See you next time.